How wealthy UFO fans help fuel fringe beliefs. There is a long U.S. legacy of plutocrat-funded pseudoscience, and Congress just embraced it. This is an image of Ryan Graves, Executive Director of America for Safe Airspace, David Grush, former National Reconnaissance Office representative of Unidentified Anomalous Phenomena Task Force and the U.S. Department of Defense, and retired Navy Commander David Fravor, take their seats as they arrive for the House Oversight Committee hearing titled Unidentified Anomalous Phenomena, what we call UFO, Implications on National Security, Public Safety, and Government Transparency. And this was at Capitol Hill, July 26, 2023 in Washington, D.C. In a 2017 interview with 60 Minutes, Robert Bigelow did not hesitate when he was asked if space aliens had ever visited Earth. There has been and is an existing presence, an ET presence, Bigelow said, a Las Vegas-based real estate mogul and founder of Bigelow Aerospace, a company NASA has contracted to build inflatable space station habitats. Bigelow was so certain that he indicated because he had spent millions and millions and millions of dollars searching for UFO evidence. I probably spent more as an individual than anybody else in the United States has ever spent on this subject, he claimed. He's right. Since the early 1990s, Bigelow has bankrolled a voluminous stream of pseudoscience on modern-day UFO lore, investigating everything from crop circles and cattle mutilations to alien abductions and UFO crashes. Indeed, if you name a UFO rabbit hole, it's a good bet that 79-year-old tycoon has flushed his riches down it. But it's also a good bet that Bigelow would see this differently. After all, both the media and Congress are now solely discussing a supposed massive UFO cover-up by the U.S. government. There is even proposed legislation to open the X-Files. The American public has a right to learn about technologies of unknown origins, non-human intelligence, and unexplained phenomena, Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer of New York said in recent public statements. Now, this legacy of plutocrat-backed fringe science comes as political partisanship, corporate propaganda, and conspiracy mongering continues to sow distrust in science. One lawmaker, Representative Tim Burchett of Tennessee, recently said, "The devil's been in our way," claiming a cover-up of UFO reports by military and intelligence agencies. Such talk was once solely the domain of internet fever swamps and late-night conspiracy-themed radio shows. Now it's part of the political mainstream, and this does not happen without Bigelow and other wealthy eccentrics greasing the way with their wallets. And for example, Lawrence Rockefeller was undoubtedly the most prominent UFO benefactor in the 1990s. The wealthy heir financed numerous UFO panels, conferences, and book-length reports that kept flying saucers in the public discourse. From the scientific standpoint, all this money seemed wasted on a zany question that is akin to the search for Bigfoot or Atlantis. The same might be said of Harvard astrophysicist Avi Loeb's recent hunt for evidence of extraterrestrial life off the coast of Papua New Guinea, which cost $150,000 and was funded by cryptocurrency mogul Charles Hodkinson. Loeb's polarized claims of finding traces of alien technology and of having a more open-minded and dispassionate approach to fringe science have garnered a truly staggering amount of media coverage, but his peers in the scientific community are rolling their eyes. It's the latest stunt by Loeb, who also helms the controversial UFO project and previously drew the ire of his colleagues with outlandish claims about the supposedly artificial nature of an admittedly weird interstellar comet. Steve Desch, an astrophysicist at Arizona State University, recently told New York Times, "What the public is seeing in Loeb is now how science works, and they should not go away thinking that." True, but as communication researcher Alexander Scheel wrote in the 2020 paper for the Journal of Science Communication, what people see about science is usually on TV, particularly via sensationalist programming on cable channels such as Discovery and the Misnamed History Channel, where viewers are bombarded with aliens, ghosts, cryptids, and miracles as though they are indisputable facts. Unfortunately, much of this nonsense has at one point or another been masked with an aura of legitimacy and prestigious institutions. For example, the Massachusetts Institute of Technology lent its imprimatur to the Alien Abduction Conference in the early 1990s, which Robert Bigelow helped to pay for. A generous benefactor to academia, Bigelow also gave millions to the University of Nevada during the 1990s to study supposed psychic phenomena such as telepathy, clairvoyance, and the possibility of life after death. In recent years, the billionaire has turned his attention and money largely to the afterlife. Indeed, there is a long tradition of fringe science at prestigious universities and dubious fields of parapsychology. For instance, owes its existence to the decades of pseudo-scholarship churned out at Duke and Harvard University and financed by wealthy private patrons. Some of our most illustrious thinkers, such as the eminent psychologist William James, have fallen for it. Belief in Martians sprang in large part from a wealthy amateur astronomer, Percival Lowell, who built the observatory that still bears his name. A University of Arizona psychology professor attracted criticism in recent years for taking money from the Pioneer Fund, founded in 1937 by textiles magnate to promote the racist science of eugenics. And eventually, that's wacky stuff, be it ESP or UFOs, makes its way to Congress and the Pentagon, and that's how we end up with people in government-funded programs who claim they can bend spoons with their minds or walk through walls, and that's how we end up with the Department of Defense giving Robert Bigelow $22 million from 2008 to 2011 to investigate UFOs, werewolves, and poltergeists seriously on a Utah ranch. We're talking about Skinwalker Ranch. Now, this would be the same ranch Bigelow had already bought after reading a story in a Utah newspaper about how the property was teeming with UFOs, including one huge ship the size of several football fields. Does this sound familiar? If so, that's because in recent weeks a number of similar hard-to-fathom evidence-free UFO claims have echoed without a challenge through the halls of Congress and all over television networks. Among the most eyebrow-raising tales of recovered saucers, hidden alien bodies, and a football field-sized UFO spotted over a military base. And guess what? You can draw the line from these outlandish assertions to the vast repository of so-called studies once funded by Bigelow. In fact, some of the people he contracted to write them, such as astrophysicist Eric Davis, have acknowledged speaking behind closed doors with Congress. To say UFO enthusiasm has swept Washington, D.C. is not an overstatement. In recent years, there have been 3 congressional hearings and 2 Pentagon task forces. NASA is about to deliver its own verdict after a year-long study, and as Timothy Noah writes in the New Republic, UFOs are fast becoming the most studied topic in American governance. Perhaps, but Robert Bigelow will tell you that nobody has studied the topic more than him. He might be right. Whatever the latest UFO whistleblower says and whatever Congress turns up, you can bet that Bigelow already paid for it. And this was first published by Scientific American, and it's on Live Science. Please leave your comments, and this is by Keith Clore. Please leave your comments, and thank you for your support. My Patreon account, the daily posts are 5 videos daily, and they are totally different from what I have on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for your support and that you find all my content so interesting. You'll find the Patreon account details in the description box below.